Sharon is somebody I met during the social hour at a local church in the South Beach area of Grays Harbor County. We'd agreed to meet for a chat at a later date, so we joined up for breakfast at the Blue Buoy in Westport, and we had this chat sitting in front of the restaurant. Sharon has had a hard life, which she describes, along with her beliefs about personal resilience. This chat comes with a trigger warning for childhood sexual assault, but Sharon's positivity in the face of her struggles is inspiring. My name is Nick, and this is Conversations on the Coast. So what we do with this is we talk about something that you believe. Mm-hmm. And we met at Coastal Community Church, but yes. That doesn't mean you need to talk about your religious belief, but you're welcome to if that's what you want to talk about. Mm-hmm. And then, what we do is I don't really talk to the belief itself as more talking about your reasons and then the way that you figure out what's true and the way that you kind of come to your beliefs and values. And sometimes sometimes you can talk about something that you believe is true or sometimes you can talk about something that's like a core value, and those conversations go, slightly differently, but it's all kind of the same kind of conversation. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, what would you like to talk about? What do you have in mind today?
Okay. Well, I know you like to talk about what people believe and why they believe it.
Yeah.
So the deepest belief that I hold is that I will be okay no matter what happens to me.
Nice.
And I have come to that realization for two different reasons. One is that I have survived everything that's happened to me to date.
Yeah.
And two, because I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yeah. So my experiences through life have taught me that I can survive whatever happens, and I will be okay no matter what happens.
That's good.
As long as I have my hands and my mind, I can always rebuild something.
Yeah. So, do you believe that? So when you say you believe that you can survive anything, let's put some guidelines around that.
Okay.
Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by anything? And
I've had a lot of different challenges happen to me, or I've lived through a lot of different challenges, I think is a more effective way of saying it. Because, happening to me makes it sound like I'm the victim.
Yeah.
And living through them, it has a whole different sound to it. Let's see, I have lived through major childhood abuse. My father sold me for drug money, among many other things.
Oh my God.
And, nutshell version of the worst thing, I was gang raped as a 7-year-old by him and 5 of his friends. And it left me unable to have kids. And for a while I thought that was a really bad thing, and then I realized that it's the best thing that could have happened because I learned too much about the wrong things of being a parent, and I could unintentionally hurt one of my own kids very badly without wanting to. So it's a good thing I didn't go down that road. So I started with that, and then I spent 7 years on the streets because it was the only way I could escape living with him. I put myself through 4 years of college while I was living on the street and made a vow to not come off the street until I could support myself, which took 7 years. So I was on the street for 7 years total. And I came up against a lot of the stereotypes of homeless people during that time. I never went to drugs, never drank, because I knew if I did, I wouldn't come off the streets. And, but my father, bless his heart, started a rumor among the people in the community that I was mentally ill and telling lies about him. And a lot of people believed him because, hey, see, she's living in her car. Of course she's crazy. There's definitely something wrong with her. And my perspective, no, this is the most sane thing I've ever done, and I'm not coming off the street until I can take care of myself. So, as I said, it took me 7 years to do that. And so I had points during both of those where I thought I wasn't going to survive. And then I did, because I had a goal. I said, no, I'm self-supporting. So, had a quieter time for a while after that. I built somebody else's business, and then I built and ran my own business for 10 years, and met my husband during that time. And went through a lot of challenges there. We got married, had some issues with an ex-wife that should never have happened, but we lived in a state that had no statutes of limitations, and even though we had papers proving that there was nothing owed, the Connecticut judge said they're not valid here because, So the ex-wife pretty much was taking all his money, so my income was supporting us both. And then I had a catastrophic injury and lost my business, had to relearn to walk. It took me 18 months to heal. They told me I would not walk again. They told me I would never landscape again. I've done both. And was just recovering from that. And my husband lost his job. And he needed a knee replacement at the same time. And his employer was kind enough to put him out on medical leave while the knee replacement was done. But we got to January 2014, and that ran out, and we knew within a month we were going to lose everything because his income after the child support garnishment was $600 a month, and our bills were closer to $2,000. So it didn't take a rocket scientist to, So we took a leap of faith. I turned our apartment, our place into a giant moving sale. We sold everything we owned, moved into the 16-foot pop-up. Spent, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. We spent 7 months living in that, and then a friend loaned us some money to buy a larger trailer, and then we got the invitation to move to Washington to take the job there, so we traveled cross country, and I did not realize then that he was already in the early stages of dementia. And I just thought it was normal that I had to give him turn-by-turn directions all the way across the country while he drove, because, after all, I'm the navigator, he's the driver, so we work together.
Yeah.
And we came out here. We had the job up at Crescent Beach. That lasted 3 months, and then the managers, changed hands, said we had to leave. So we found the job in Westport, and we came here in March of 2015. We spent a year rebuilding our savings. We got completely out of debt. We started saving to buy a house, and things were really looking good, and we're like, good, we finally made it. We're going to have a good life together. And then a year after we got there, almost to the day, he was officially diagnosed with dementia.
This is quite a journey, and we've talked about some of the others. I know it doesn't end there, but the end result is here you are in Westport, living, some version of your best life. You seem happy.
Yeah.
So, coming back to the belief that you can survive, and really that do you believe that this is this belief specific to you, or is this just a belief in human resilience in general?
I can only speak to myself because of what I've lived. So for me, it arises out of my direct experience.
Okay.
Because of the road I've walked, everything I've been through.
And why is this belief important to you?
Because it takes away the fear of whatever's coming.
Okay.
Because I know I've been in multiple challenging situations, and I've survived all of them. And I've learned different skills and abilities from every single one of them in different ways that I can make my life better during challenging times. And I carry all those with me. I carry all those experiences with me, and when I'm in a challenging situation, I can draw on them and say, well, I have lived this before, and I made it, and I did this to get through it, so I can do this to get through it now.
Why do you think that you're able to surmount these challenges?
Because I was determined. When I was younger, I struggled with depression quite a bit. It was before I did a lot of my healing. And the first time I tried to commit suicide, I was 17. And I obviously didn't succeed because I'm here. But my father was angry because I failed. And he told me I couldn't do anything right. So for a long time I stayed alive despite him. That became my reason to live, was to, quote, make him miserable because he was not happy that I was on this earth. And, you know, admittedly it was a crappy reason, but it was the best one I had, and I hung on to that until I found a better one.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like, would you say that the belief has, it sounds like the belief has specificity to you.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the fact that you have survived everything up so far a good reason to believe that you'll continue to be able to survive things in the future?
Because I have all those different experiences to draw on. And I have them inside me. The things I contain, I can't lose them. They become a part of the fabric of who I am. And it's like having a set of encyclopedias inside that I can draw on whenever I need to.
Nice. I love that analogy. So just to phrase that back to you, or to paraphrase it back, you've learned through these experiences, and these have given you tools and skills that you can use moving forward.
Yeah, and since they're inside of me, I can't lose them. They're a part of who I am.
If you were mistaken about your belief, would you want to know?
Yes, because then I could make myself even better.
Nice. How would you find out?
I think the way I would find out would be if I was in a challenging situation and I used all my different skills that I had learned and none of them worked. Mm-hmm. And then I would know there was something else I needed to learn.
Nice. What I like about what you told me is that you're basing a lot of what you've done on your experiences. You've had experiences, you have a learning. You've had experiences, and you've had a learning. To what degree have you thought about, like, the catalog of what are the tools and the skills that you have, as opposed to you just react natively in the moment?
I've thought a lot about the tools and skills that I've learned, and I've reached a point where a lot of them are native because I've learned them so well. So I may react instinctively in the moment, but like I may get upset about something because I'm human, and that's what I do. Yeah. It's part of being human. But then I will sit down with my journal and I will write about it, and and that helps me to get back to the tools.
Do you believe that others should hold this belief and learn the same tools that you've learned?
No, because I'm not others. I can only speak for myself.
Do you believe that others would benefit from your experience?
They might, but they would have to be willing inside themselves to learn and willing to change what they do. And that, knowing what I know about myself, there'd probably be a lot of kicking and screaming about it at first. Because if I can't see the way that something benefits me, I'm often resistant to it until I have a chance to really think about it and work with it.
Okay. Why do you believe that people would be resistant to tools that have been proven by somebody else?
Familiarity with the way that things are in their own life, routines and habits and comfort zones and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I have my own comfort zones that I'm resistant about moving past, and I'm willing to admit that, and I'm willing to work with that. It's like starting this new business at my age is not what I thought I'd be doing, so that's a big step out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I have the tools because I've built and run two businesses before, so it's not exactly unfamiliar territory.
Mm-hmm.
It's just unfamiliar now because I'm doing it for myself without an other in the picture.
Yeah. Why is learning new skills important to you?
Because I don't ever want to get stuck. Mm-hmm. I want to keep changing. I want to keep growing. And to be able to live my best life possible in a way that not only benefits me, but helps the people around me. Because if I don't live effectively, I can't help anybody else.
Mm-hmm. So do you believe that learning and adapting is necessary in order to keep yourself safe, happy? Sorry, I'm coming up with adjectives, and they may not be the right adjectives.
That's okay.
Do you believe that it's important for you to keep learning, and why?
Yes, I do. Because stagnation leads to, at least in my world, stagnation leads to boredom, which leads to depression, which leads to becoming suicidal and believing I have no purpose in the world. And that's a place I don't want to go anymore.
After everything you've learned, why do you believe that pattern would occur again?
Which pattern would that be?
What you just described of boredom, inactivity, leading to boredom, leading to depression, leading to self-harm.
Because part of it for me is the way my brain is wired. I have struggled with depression for most of my life, and I have come up with a lot of different ways to work with that and take better care of myself when I'm having an episode. Mm-hmm. I've never resorted to medication. And I've become smart enough to know that my brain is lying, even if it feels like it's telling the truth. So that helps. But I do everything I can to not go to that place in the first place. Because once I'm there, it's a lot harder to get out of it. But if I know it's coming, then I can stop it before it starts.
Do you believe that it's possible for people to grow so that they don't repeat the patterns of their past?
I do, but they have to want to, and they have to realize there's a different way to live, and that's something I have no control over. It has to come from inside them.
Okay. I'm trying to think where else we can go, but I think we've covered it.
Yes.
One thing I struggle with sometimes in these chats is to get past my own biases.
Uh-huh.
And in this case, this is something, your claim is something that I agree with. And that doesn't mean that I can't do a good job of kind of exploring your reasons and your methods.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that gets in the way. Do you ever doubt this belief and this learning?
Yes.
And when you doubt, what are the reasons that you think it might not be true?
Because when I'm in the middle of something, sometimes the stress and the emotions can feel overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And those feelings can cause me to think that what I'm doing isn't working anymore.
Okay.
But I also have the past memories of being in that place before and then coming out of it, so that tells me that what my brain is saying is not true.
So you're able to learn you're able to apply the learnings that you
Yes.
that you had in the past.
I'm able to remind myself that no, this is not permanent. This is just where I am in this moment.
Okay. So do you believe that if you got back into a depressive pattern that you could react differently than you've done in the past?
I could. I know enough now to actually reach out and ask for help because I know my brain is lying to me.
So there's a point at which your tools and learnings maybe sometimes become more powerful than
Yes.
the problem.
Yes.
Nice. Good. Well, I think that's good. Thank you, Sharon.
Very good. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
this has been fantastic. I really
welcome.
like what you have to say, and it's the things you've been through in your life. Like I think we both wish that people wouldn't have to go through that, but I like your thoughts about the resilience of
You know,
people.
it's part of who I am, and it's made me who I am. I wouldn't be who I am without those experiences.
Yeah. All right.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You've been listening to Conversations on the Coast, a series from Washington State featuring civil conversations using street epistemology to explore what people believe and why. Find out more at streetepistemology.com.